Welcome to Puvanur RBIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RBIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. I should say congratulations and hats off to all of you for learning this intricate thala in so many different dimensions. We had covered several aspects of how to do this thalam uniquely. We understood the slice and dice of 5 and 8. We also understood the slice and dice of 6 and 7. How to take as 3 units into 9 and then the phrase. We saw the various 11 sequences, Tadindina, the various perspectives. Then Takadimi Dimi Taka, various perspectives. Takadimi Tatadimi, Tadimi Taka Tadimi, Dhim Tadimi Dinaka, Dhinkita Takdin, Din Tankita, Takadimi Taka Junu, Tanga Tadim, Tadin Tanga, Takadin Dimi Din Dimi, Tangita Tadimi. All these sequences we saw. We also saw some beautiful progressive varieties, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, up to 9 beats, and then how to play the rest of the 4 with the phrase of Adi Thala. We also saw the progressive beauty of 2, 2.5, 3 and 3.5. We saw its beauty. We also saw the reverse form. We also saw the outer joint form. We also learned how to beautifully reduce and play mora for a 10 beat, for an 8 beat, 6 beat, 4 beat. All these are ideas, creative ideas. I also taught you how to sandwich multiple thalams into integrating into a very complicated thala. Meaning like you can integrate a Ganda Chapu thala and Adi thalam. You can integrate Rupaga thalam and a Mishra Chapu thalam. When I mean integrate Ganda Chapu and Adi thalam, what I mean is Ganda Chapu is 5 beats, Adi thalam is 8 beats, combining it's 13 beats. When I say Rupaga thalam and Mishra Chapu thalam, I say it's 6 beats and 7 beats. Again we get a beautiful progression. Likewise, we can come out with n number of brilliant ideas. The very idea for me to bring forth or table all these thoughts is to spur out and kindle in you and ensure that you get more ideas and then you come out with something very unique so that this Laya foundation, the Laya Academy grows, the contribution to Laya grows and the future gets benefited. And then we can hear interesting patterns, interesting ideas getting demonstrated in various parts of the world. My biggest ambition is to ensure that people who are part of this academy reach greater heights by uniquely thinking in their own distinctive way and then grow exponentially. That's my thought. So I'm going to start off today's class with the traditional reduction of Sangeerna Jathi Triputa Thalam. Before I get into the class, I will begin the class with the Thirukkural. Nayanila sollinum solluga sandror payanila sollamai nandre. Sandror neediyodu porundada சொற்களை சொன்னாராயினும் பயனில்லாத சொற்களை சொல்லாதிருப்பாராக. What does it mean? People who are called wise, they might use unlawful words, what is not acceptable by law, but they should not talk useless words. There's a difference between people using the words which are not abiding by the law. For example, a judge can pass a judgment. It doesn't mean that is wrong, but he should not use useless words. There is a second difference between these two. So let us ensure that we don't use useless words in our conversation, meaning that we reduce the usage of gradually. With this good thought, I'll enter into the reduction class. The reduction class is very, very traditional. சம்பிரதாயமாக இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாள், தமிழில் சொல்லணும். அது ரொம்ப அழகாக இருக்குது. ஏன்னா எந்த ஒரு தாளத்துக்கும் இந்த டெஃபினிஷன், you always have to land at some place before you take off, launch into a crescendo. Anjaneya, if you look like in Parvatamalai, before he went for the search for finding Sita, better off of Rama, Lord Rama, he went to the Parvatamala, that's the top of the mountain, and with all his might, he pressed his foot, and then he went up and he crossed 90 miles. So that's the power of Lord Hanuman. He had a lot of power, the Tejas. So before any of the crescendo we launch in this art, Mridangam art, you normally come, and after the sequence you come traditionally settle down, saying that I'm going to launch now. And for that it's called the reduction. Sampradayam, traditional way of reducing and then pouncing like a tiger with the Forons. The Forons, by word itself, is so beautifully coined. It is like para 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 irukkiradam, para para para, Foron, para para, Foron, like it's beautifully aligned. If you look at the expression of Mridangam, if you look at the expression of the way they have used, and the vocabulary is perfect. I would say even in Tamil or in English or in the musical expression, it is beautiful. So for doing this traditional reduction, I'm going to break it again into 5, 4 and a 4. For a 5, it's the reduction for Ganda Chapatala. For the 8, you have to use the reduction for Adithala. So how do we do it in Ganda Chapatala? Din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din. That is, you have to always say, don't try to put it directly into Sangeerna Jathi Triputa Thala. You will fall apart. First of all, understand how a 5 comes. So it's settled in a 5. In Ganda Eka Thalam or in Ganda Chapathalam. Ganda Eka Thalam, it goes like this. Din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din. That is Ganda Ekam. In Ganda Chapathalam, din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din. This is the first part of the reduction. Then, in Adithalam, how we reduced? Din, tankata din, tankata din, tankata din, tankata din, tankata din. If you want to take the vanilla part of it, din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din. That is Adithalam. Now, I am going to combine these two into Sangeerna Jathi Triputa Thalam. Din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, ta din. It looks very mighty when you play in a 13-beat cycle. But at the end of the day, as I told you the concept, it might look very, very simple for you to play. So it's important to understand the concept before you even launch something to play in an unknown thala. So it goes like this. That is the first paragraph. The second paragraph. Din, takita din, takita din, takita takadin, din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita takadin, din, takita din, takita din, takita din, din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita din, takita takadin, din. That's the next paragraph. you're trying to now improvise these two paragraphs with tham kitataka and thari kitataka and try to use the same definitive patterns for building your traditional reduction. As I told you, this traditional reduction is very, very effective when it gets into dialogue mode. When I mean by dialogue mode, you need a person other side who can play Ganjira or Konnakol or Gadam, who can play and answer you back. When they do this dialogue, it will be much more interesting. So let's deal with the next two paragraphs in an expression form, in the playing form, and then we'll move further. Dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, that dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, tankataka dhin, that dhin. That is the next paragraph. That is the next paragraph. Now instead of dimtha, substitute takadina. That's all. Dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka taka dinna dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka taka dinna dim. Instead of tamkitataka, substitute tharikitaka. Dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, that dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, that dim. Dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka taka dinna dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka taka dinna dim. This is the traditional reduction. This is good enough for showcasing your talent in Kanta Jathi Triputa Thalam. So first, dhin takita din dinta. Dhin takita din takadina. Then dim tamkadaka dim dinta. Din tamkadaka dim takadina. Next, dim tarikadaka dim dinta. Dim tarikadaka dim takadina. Use all these phrases. Play effectively. One more variety you can play. Instead of takadina, you can also play takatarikadaka. Ding, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka tarikataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka dim, tankataka tarikataka dim. That is another variety. Then ding, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dum, tarikataka dim, tarikataka dim. You can use these two varieties. This is the settlement of playing a traditional reduction. Now, how to go about playing the Forons? Forons are very effective phrases which you need to use before you play the more encore way. I'm going to start with giving you a few examples of what Forons you can play. I want you to work on this thala, what all possible Forons you can think of. And I want you to do this homework and come back to me in 10 different forms. Meaning 10 different varieties of Forons you can think about it. Use all the bala bottoms I have taught you. Tit tankataka tarikataka dum tankataka tarikataka talangataka tarikataka. Also use the 4-beat phrase. All these are foreign phrases. I want you to try a number of combinations. Get into the structure of Sangeerna Jathi Triputa, how you can express using these phrases effectively in varied forms, not just one form. But I will teach you a vanilla of how to go about doing it. The vanilla goes like this. The first 5, how you can settle it? Use the Kanda Chapa Forons. This is a Kanda Chapa phrase. 2.5 beats, 2.5 beats. So you settle that for the first half. The second 2 slices are 4 and 4. It's Adi Thalam phrase. Is again an Adi Thalam phrase. So the first paragraph, when you play a Foron in Sangeerna Jathi Triputa Thala, it will be like this. The second paragraph will be like this. That is the second part of the phrase. The 2-3 ideas I will give, and I want you to work more independently to get more ideas. This is another phrase. So there are n number of varieties which you can think of. I want you to work independently and get multiple forms. So I'm ending this class because it's an interesting class where I've taught you, given a quick revamp of what all you have learnt. It's now time for you to work on it. Work on each of these, and also the traditional reduction, the different forms I taught you, and also the Forons what I taught you. Come until this far. Ensure whatever the gaps, whatever the lacunae you have, whatever the misunderstanding you have, let's have a review. I will sort out all your queries, and then I will ensure that you have understood it right. I am ending this class with a Thirukkural, and by next class I will be concluding my Sangeerna Jathi Triputa Thalam with a beautiful Mora Korvai, two, three different types I've composed, which is perfectly befitting for you, which is one of the basic type and one is a little advanced. I'll give you the perspective of both, and I want you to practice that as well. Let me end this class with the Thirukkural. Arum payan ayum arivinar sollar perum payan illada sol siranda payangalai arayum arivinai udayavar periya payan tharudal illada சொற்களை பேசவே மாட்டார்கள். So what does Thiruvallur say? If words can bring good benefits, the wise people will ensure that they will not misuse or use any words which are of less use or which are useless. So they will always use choicest of words in their expression because they are wise people, and that's why they are deemed wise people. With this good thought, I am signing off. I'll see you in the next class to handle Mora Korvai, what I had specially composed for all of you. Cheers, Ponur RVA.